and welcome to A Spirited Debate. I'm Lauren Green. We know that conventional wisdom in America is that highly educated people are less religious on average. But a new analysis by the Pew Research Center shows that the relationship between religion and education in the United States is not so simple. 71% of American adults identify as Christians, and among them, those with higher education appear to be just as religious as those with less schooling. And in fact, highly educated Christians are more likely than less educated Christians to be weekly churchgoers. Now, to separate the perception from the reality, here to discuss are Ellen Ratner, Bureau Chief of Talk Media News and a Fox News contributor, and Pastor Dimas Salivarios, author of Street God. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Oh, glad to be on.
So, Pastor, I want to get your reaction first. What do you think about this survey?
I mean, this has been going on for years. When I went to school, they were attacking my faith in and out. So there's a large portion of college professors that think the way or the road to being an intelligent professor is to downplay the issue of faith, to attack those with a fledgling faith. But I'm happy to say there's a great spiritual movement that's happening on college campuses, and faith is strong, and I think we're going to see those tides turn. We're going to see a lot of people following God with master's degrees and doctorates in every walk of life.
And Ellen, just your reactions on the findings.
Well, my reaction is that it's good that 71% go to church and believe in God and have a community. However, there's 29% that don't. And so I think that religion has got to adapt to science, things like evolution, etc., that we're learning about that may not be in the Old or New Testament. But now we know differently, and so I think that religion has got to adapt, and then you're going to get that 29% more involved.
Well, I want to show you the findings, though, because of all U.S. adults, the findings show that among adults who say religion is very important, college graduates are 46%, some college 53%, and high school or less 58%. And a similar one for praying, it says that college 50%, some college 57%, and high school or less 57%. So this follows along with the sort of conventional wisdom. But it's interesting that among Christians who are attending religious services, their college graduates are 52%, some college 45%, and high school 46%. So it actually goes the other way. Just your reaction to, Pastor, why is it the Christians seem to be going in the other direction?
I think a lot of people that go to these schools seem to be attacked. They seem like their faith is being bombarded. So a lot of people are just choosing to go later, choosing to opt out, to, getting jobs that they can just quickly move up the ladder on the internet and other areas with skill sets. So I think you see a huge change going on, but I still have faith. And, the whole talk of evolution, I mean, most really smart scholars today, scientists as well, have to look at that there's a designer behind it all. So I think, if you study, you'll see that tide is turning too.
Ellen, I think it's very interesting you point out, because I think you're actually looking at some of the things that people believe that Christians believe, but in fact, a lot of there's a lot of not doctrine, but studies about what the Bible actually says and what people actually believe. So they may not believe that evolution is totally wrong or that sort of thing. So I just wanted to go back to you and say that they didn't really offer any reasons behind the findings, but what would be your anecdotal reasons, I think, behind why the numbers say what they say, Ellen?
Well, part of the reason I think the numbers say what they say is that we also have to open up Christianity and every other religion to looking at, for instance, in Christianity, what books were not included in the Bible and what they have to say. There's some sayings of Jesus that I actually just gave to a friend of mine that were amazing, but they weren't included in the Bible.
Pastor, what do you think about that? Because these are deep theological discussions that we're now kind of getting at.
Oh, I think that is hilarious. I mean, like the lost books of the Bible. If they're lost, then what are you doing with them? I think it's very clear in 323, when they were mobilizing the canon, that they decided what was consistent and what was false writings. And we can back up our New Testament better than any book that you can find in history, that over and over again there's copies after copies after copies that show that there's a consistency in the Word. And that's what we stand behind, and that's what we follow. So the funny books you got, you enjoy them. They're funny papers and comic books to me.
Okay, Ellen, I do have to let you respond to that.
Well, I got to tell you that the scholarship that was around in 350 when the books went into the New Testament is very different now. There's been a lot more scholarship, and therefore I don't think they're funny books.
All right. I want to thank you so much, Ellen and Dimas, for joining me. And
Thank
please check out my new book. It's not so funny, but it's Lighthouse Faith, God is a Living Reality in a World Immersed in Fog. For the latest headlines, stick with FoxNews.com. I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching A Spirited Debate.